everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, and you are watching the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to talk about a band that I have loved for 45 years, and they just put out a brand new album. Now, if you are into mod, power pop, new wave, just great guitar pop, you are going to be interested in this, regardless of what you think about their big hit single. Now, they had one big hit single. They should have had many hit singles. I'm talking about the VAPORS. David Fenton on guitar and vocals, Edward Bazalgette on lead guitar, Steve Smith on bass, and the unrelated Howard Smith on drums. That was the first lineup that put out their debut single, Prisoners, and then, of course, their debut album called Nuclear Days. I sometimes like to start these shows off and tell you how I got into the band. And that's basically, I walked into Licorice Pizza. I had $10 burning a hole in my pocket. $10 was a lot of money back then, especially when you're 16 years old. This is 1980. And I'm flipping through the bins. Now, I could only afford to buy like one album a week or one album every 2 weeks. And I'd have to make my choices. So whenever I would go through the bins, I would start with the miscellaneous sections. Unless I knew a band was putting out an album, then I'd go to their section first. But it was always cool to go into the miscellaneous sections because I love to buy new music. I wasn't just looking for hits of the day. No, I was looking for something that might get me excited, something new, something I could just get all kooky crazy about and then share with my friends. Well, as you can tell, I start in various artists A and flip through. And if you've watched my channel in the past, you'll know that I used to love to buy albums by any band that started with the word the. Of course, if they look new wave or whatever, or punk or power pop, whatever. So I'd go through and if the album cover looked cool, I'd pick it up, look it back, try to get some information off of it, see if I could, would this be an album I'd want to buy? I was obviously at the record store for quite a while because I ended up in the miscellaneous V section. And one of the first things I saw is this brand new album by this band I'd never heard of called the VAPORS. So I picked it up, couldn't tell what kind of music it was by the cover, but I kind of liked their logo. And then I flipped it over. First thing I see is produced by Vic Coppersmith Heaven. Now, I was a huge Jam fan at that point. I got the Jam is the band that just blew my mind. They're the band that made me get into all this new wave, punk, power pop, mod stuff in 1978, early 1978. So here it was 2 years later, and I'm holding an album by a group I've never heard of a note of this, but it was produced by Vic Coppersmith Heaven. To me, that was like, come on, buy me. So I bought it. I took it home, and I loved it. It wasn't the Jam, but it was definitely in the same musical universe, just great guitar. But it was, oh my God, every song. David Fenton, it's like he didn't waste anything. He wrote great verses, great bridges, great middle eights, great choruses, and he pieced these songs together, and they were just fantastic. Obviously very 60s influenced, but it had that punk energy. Now, it wasn't punk, but it wasn't quite mod, wasn't quite new wave, wasn't quite power pop. It was all of that. So if you're a fan of those genres, this is a band that you need to check out beyond Turning Japanese. Now, of course, after I bought this album, had the sticker on that says featuring the single Turning Japanese. Well, Turning Japanese, of course, became a big hit. And still, I love that album. Now, I found out probably just a few months later after I bought this American album that the British version actually didn't have the song Prisoners on it, and it had a couple other songs. So I actually ended up tracking that down. And so I had the British version, which had two songs that weren't on the domestic. I think it was America and Cold War. But, oh man, I would buy every 7-inch, and it was just so incredible to collect this band. I saw them live on this tour at Magic Mountain, which is a theme park. And I remember going to see the first show, and I had my Super 8 camera. It was a Sonnet Super 8. So I filmed the band, and I also filmed like David Fenton and I think probably Steve Smith walking out of sort of the backstage area to go walk around the park for a little while, and before they came back to do the second show. And so somewhere in this vicinity, not in this room, but maybe down in the garage or something, I have Super 8 footage of the Vapors, and it was right in between albums. So they were doing songs like Johnny's in Love Again, Civic Hall. They were doing these songs that were going to be on their forthcoming album. Here's a little tidbit here. Even though they're not featured in the CDs that I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes, the show that I went to, or one of the two shows that I went to that night, pictures from those shows were used for the inner sleeve of their second album, Magnets. So if you have a copy of that on vinyl, they don't feature those pictures in the CD versions, but you'll see some live pictures of the band, and those were at the shows that I was at. Let's go on to the second album, 1981. Out came the album Magnets. First off, the album cover. It was created by an artist by the name of Martin Handford. This is 1981. Martin, in about 6 years, would be better known for a book series called Where's Waldo, which is what it was called here in the States. I believe it might have been called Where's Wally in the UK and maybe Europe. But let's talk about the album, the music itself. I loved it. Preceded by the single Spiders, which was a very, very different song. It had this weird sample. It's hard to describe, but you have to hear it. It's great. The album was a different beast. Where the first album had that punk new wave energy, this album was, should I say, more thoughtful, more layered. In fact, it was a concept album. If you look at the album cover and look at some of the song titles, it sort of links into sort of this assassination scenario. And, the character name of Johnny is mentioned a few times throughout the album. Huge leap for a band throughout their second album and have it be a concept album. But the album it didn't have that punch that the first album had, and that's what people were looking for. You know how people are. People go, oh, Turning Japanese, I want every song to sound just like Turning Japanese. Well, the band didn't do that. The band gave us something that they wanted to create, and it's a wonderful album. Like I said, a lot of textures, a lot of layers, and great songs. Again, there's one song on here that was written by Edward Bazalgette and Steve Smith called Isolated Case, but all the rest were written by David Fenton, who wrote the entire first album, who wrote all the B-sides. Fantastic. But the album didn't do that well. I mean, it had Jimmy Jones, it had Spiders, it had Isolated Case, it had Daylight Titans. Such a wonderful album. And it didn't do that well, and unfortunately, the band split up. Now, I saw them on that tour at Florentine Gardens, and the two bands that opened up for him was a band called Code Blue, featuring Dean Chamberlain, great LA band, and another great LA band by the name of 2020. And 2020 have a brand new album out this year, just like the Vapors do. So definitely check that as well. But the Vapors split up, and for the next, 30-something years, I still put them on mixtapes. I still put them on my Mixcloud shows. I still put them on mixed CDRs. I still talked about this band as if they were alive and well and kicking and making music. I never give up on a band. So you're going to find me talking about Yachts and Split Ends and, all these bands that split up years ago. But I'm acting... the music is still alive with me, and unfortunately for these bands, I'm still going to be pushing them. But surprisingly enough, I think it was about 2016, the Vapors got back together. Now, at that time, it was David Fenton, Steve Smith, Edward Bazalgette, and Howard Smith was not able to do the reunion, so they got a new drummer by the name of Michael Bowes. You know what? I have made these videos, and I have to call Michael, and I have to say, Michael, is it Bowes? Is it Bowes? Is it Boas? Let's just say it's Michael. Okay, we'll just call him Michael. And Michael on drums. And that band, they performed as much as they possibly could. But since Edward Bazalgette was such a busy director, he had to he couldn't make some of the gigs. So what they did is they brought in David Fenton's son, Danny Fenton. And it's fit like a glove. Absolutely fit like a glove. He not only took over what Edward Bazalgette was doing, he also added his own personality to it. And then in 2020 came the album called Together, which just had them picking up where they left off. Just a bunch of great songs. And it's perfect. It did super well for them. All the fans loved them and welcome back. Such a great, wonderful band. Now, the band released a limited edition version of Together. There's only 100 made, and they're actually CDRs, but what they did is they took the existing album and they added 3 bonus tracks. 2 non-album tracks, which were just digital singles, Novocaine and One of My Dreams, and then a remix of Together. Now, here we are in 2025. Now, Edward Bazalgette is no longer able to stick with the Vapors for long periods, but Danny Fenton has stepped into his shoes. This new album is called WASP in a Jar. And here we go again. Just another great collection of tracks. It's available on vinyl and CD. CD has 2 bonus tracks. The album is produced by Michael Giblin, who I was a big fan of back in the days when he was in Cherry Twister. Then he was in the Parallax Project. And then he's been in Split Squad. He's been in so many cool bands over the years, and he's producing this. In fact, when the Vapors have come over and let's say Danny Fenton couldn't make it, Michael Giblin stepped in and took over. And because he's been a Vapors fan probably as long as I have, except he's way cooler because I sit in front of a microphone and a camera and talk about the Vapors while he plays them and produces them. And that's way cooler. Wasp in a Jar is just a great continuation of that classic Vapors sound. Bunch of great guitar pop songs. I mean, I've loved these guys. I've been a fan. I've been a big supporter for 45 years, and I will continue to be a big supporter. That's why I'm making this video, to tell you they have a new album out. And if you only know Turning Japanese, or you only have one album, or if you only have a compilation, this is a video that I want you to pay attention to and take to heart, because this is a band that is very much worth your while. Right now, I'm going to show you my Vapors CD collection. I'm not saying I have everything, but I'm probably not missing anything. So why don't you sit back, take a look at this, and I will see you on the other side. And here is the first album, Nuclear Days, came out in 1980. This version on the Captain Mod label, which is a subsidiary of Captain Oi, that features all those bonus tracks there on the right. 1981 came Magnets, and this is another version that has bonus tracks on the Captain Mod label. And here is a box set that came out that kind of replaces those in a way. This came out on Cherry Red. It's called Waiting for the Weekend, the United Artists and Liberty Recordings, which basically features, let me open it here. There is a fine booklet that has like 45 sleeves and loads of pictures and information on the band. Great little collection there. And there's all the tracks on it. Now here is the Nuclear Days again, but it has some different bonus tracks on the disc. And here is a bonus disc featuring alternate versions and demos and monitor mixes and really fantastic. A nice deep look into the band. If you recognize this cover, it's done by the same guy that did Where's Waldo. And this has different bonus tracks than the other version. And then here is another disc of alternate takes and monitor mixes, blah, 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 plus a live show from 79. And that's a great little package. That would be the one to get, because I believe those Captain Mod releases are deleted. And then, of course, 40 years later, they came back with the album Together. This is the version that they first put out. And there's a picture, that picture has both Ed Bazalgette and Danny Fenton in it, because they both played on the album. Here is a reissue of that album. Now, the CD I got, the jewel case was cracked beyond repair, so I had to sort of take the stickers off and restick them. This is a CDR, but it has 3 bonus tracks over the original version, and that's a great collection there. And then I have this DVD-R that I bought through the band. Oh, and it's autographed by Mr. David Fenton. Did I already say he was a hero of mine? Anyway, here is the brand new album, Wasp in a Jar. Came out 2025. It's just weeks old by the time I'm making this video. And the CD has 2 bonus tracks over the vinyl version. So you know which one I got. Well, those are my Vapor CDs. Do they compare to your Vapor CDs? You know what? Maybe you should build up your collection or send me whatever I don't have. But guess what? I've also put together a medley featuring songs, snippets of songs from each of the studio albums. And I want you to give this a listen, give you an idea of just how great this band has been. And if you haven't paid much attention, it's time to pay attention. So sit back, relax, give this a listen, and I will see you on the other side.
I'm prisoner number 1, I won't get parole 'cause I carry a gun. I'm prisoner number 1, I'm prisoner number 1. We're all prisoners, we're all prisoners, we're all prisoners here. Like I'm turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Still I can't hear you. You make no sense to me. Still I can't hear you. When the time comes I disagree with your policy. Your policy. Don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me now. I'll make it up to you somehow. Don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me now. I'll make it up to you somehow. And every day I dream my life away, just waiting for the weekend. Then I know I won't have to leave you here, and we can be alone again. Waiting for the weekend. Waiting for the weekend. Waiting for the weekend to come. Oh my baby, what shall we do? Baby's in your black red, I can do. Johnny's in the corner shop waiting for you. He's got lots of. Look out, Johnny, she's got spiders inside her head. She can't control her baby spiders. She wants some Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Jones, Jones, Jones. And he's so crunch, Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Jones, Jones, Jones. And he's so crunch. And get you's got a place for me. We get you's got a place for me. When the daylight tightens around me, I pack up all my problems and run. Oh, when the daylight tightens around me, I don't know what I'm doing, but I've gotta get things done. All over the world I run and hide, I slip and slide, exactly like the last time. All over the world they come and go, not you. Oh, your animals in cages, hide your weakness, forget your fears. Live by the laws you made for your safety. Safe behind the walls you thought would last for years. It's just an isolated case.
Johnny jumps and Johnny comes clean.
It's just an isolated case.
He jumps and Johnny comes clean.
This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is all I need. His eyesight galleries for guns. They seem like no exchange at all. But I can give you armor if you'll keep me warm. Crazy don't seem crazy anymore. I don't know what you're waiting for. Won't
what you're waiting for. I used to think about you sometimes instead of thinking about me. We used to laugh, but we don't sometimes. That's what we both need. So let's get together, come on. Let's get together, come on. Let's get together, come on. I said let's get together, come on. Let's get together, come on. Let's get together, come on. Let's get together.
Girl from the factory's always gonna haunt me on and on and on. Girl from the factory's always gonna haunt me on and on and on.
She seemed alright.
Girl from the factory's always gonna haunt me on and on and on.
She seemed alright.
Girl from the factory's always gonna haunt me on and on.
Novocaine, just give me Novocaine, all over Novocaine, to take away the pain, yeah, Novocaine, just give me Novocaine, all over Novocaine, to take away the pain, yeah, Novocaine, just give me Novocaine, all over Novocaine, to take away the pain, yeah, Novocaine, just give me Novocaine, all over Novocaine, to take away the pain, yeah, one of my dreams came true. Yeah, one of my dreams came true. Yeah, the one about me and you. Yeah, one of my dreams came true. I don't care if you don't care. That isn't what we're talking about. I don't think there's a problem here, so long as we can work it out. And I don't mind if you don't mind, as long as there are stars above. It must be real. It must be love. You're my porcupine, always be my valentine. You're my wasp in a jar. You've been good to me, always been a rock for me, and now you turn into a star. And this is forever. You're my porcupine, always be my valentine. You're my wasp in a jar. Forever and ever. You've been good to me, always been a rock so I can now you turn into a star. So this is we're out of time, we're out of place. We've been running in the human race. There is no sign, there is no trace. You better believe it. There is no time, there is no space. 'Cause we've been running in the human race. We left no mark, we left no trace. You better believe it. Carry on. Down the road to nowhere. Carry on. Till we reach the end. Carry on. Till we end up somewhere. Carry on. Till we find our friends. Carry on. Till the war is over. Carry on. And the world is one. Carry on. Till we're back to normal. Carry on. Till we're having fun. We'll all be together again. We'll all be together again. We'll all be together again. But we don't know where, we don't know when. We'll all be together again. We'll all be together again. We'll all be together again. But we don't know where, we don't know.
Well, that's it. I hope this inspires you to check out the music of the Vapors. It inspires me so much that I'm going to buy second copies of everything just so I can get doubly excited. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.